I hope everybody is doing well today. Hopefully this thing will stick up here, but it's been a minute since I've been on these YouTube streets, few days. I have been getting used to getting back to working. Regular people can't sit on, this is not my career, YouTube, so I have to get out and sometimes a plantation and work. Unlike some people, I wish I could be like some people and just chill all the time. But since I'm not that blessed, I'm thankful for a job. I just want to talk a little bit about what was going on with the situation. I've been following it pretty closely. Some things I miss. I've been following, and you guys know that Brother Newbreed has been in my chat. I've supported him, and he's shown me some support. Thank you for that. I also, supported Brother RingoTv, and I see that there is an issue. You can come out the bushes, especially if I like you. You can come out the bushes. I'm not going to be talking about doing no subliminals to anybody that I know, but or anybody that has wronged me or said something crazy to me. I'm not going to do no subliminals tonight for them. But I'm going to be talking a little bit about the situation with brother Newbreed and Ringo. Hey CX, how are you? I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me or not. But anyway, back to what I was saying. There's a situation that's going on with them, and it's not uncommon, to be honest with you. It's not uncommon. Hey, The Word, how are you? It's not uncommon to be cool with somebody on here one day, and the next day you guys are arch enemies. That's not uncommon on this app. Unfortunately, and that's unfortunate that it's like that, but hey Red, we are human beings dealing with other human beings, and it's just some things you're not going to agree with another person, and there's some things they not going to agree with you. I don't care if if both people are decent people. Maybe one person is a decent person, the other one's not. Maybe one person is wrong and one person, God damn it, one person is wrong and one person is right. So, forgive me for all this turbulence, but you will find out that a lot of the times you're going to have confrontation on here. That's just a part of life. You're going to deal with people that you once was cool with and you're no longer cool with anymore. And it's unfortunate because you would think that as adults, we all could come together and talk it over, especially if I've had some type of relationship with you, I had some camaraderie with you, whether I picked up the phone with you, whether I went to go and visit you and help you to go do something, or whether I met you at an event or whatever it is. Hey CC, I hope you guys can hear me, because I've had a lot of things going on with this phone stand. But with both of these brothers, they're both very intelligent and they're spiritual. But one thing with you being spiritual, God forgive me for that, but one thing for being spiritual, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be fleshly either. That doesn't mean that you're not going to feel a way, or you might not say the right words. You might curse or call a person out their name. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be angry just because you're so spiritual. Because even the most spiritual people their days when they're not so spiritual. Anyway, with the situation with these two gentlemen, I really believe that some things can be resolved behind the scenes, and if they cannot be resolved behind the scenes, it just needs to left alone and die. And the reason why I say that is when we are in front of people, especially those who want to take on spiritual route, they want to tell people about God or anything like that. There's a lot of things that probably should not hit behind the scenes coming up front, because it sends a bad message to the people, the world out there, that if the people that's in the house of God can't get along or reason with each other, or at least be decent with each other, then what's the difference with the world? See, unfortunately, even though we are human, people will still put you at a higher standard if you say you're trying to live for God. You know what I'm saying? Hey Trent, how are you? Hey Evo. And when you're trying to live for God, there's a lot of things that people will be very critical of you about. They will be, H-Town, yeah, hey, how you doing? They'll be very critical about whatever you got going on. Hey, Don. And you got to be very cautious of how you live in front of other people, because, hey, Randy, people are going to judge you, and they're going to judge you harshly. Unlike some people that have problems and situations with people that they fall out with, I mean, it's normal. It's okay for them. But when it comes to people that are in the house of God, people expect a little bit more of you. And both of these brothers I respect. If you guys ever look up RingoTv or New Breed, both of these brothers are highly intelligent. They're very influential. They try to, I guess, what they're teaching, they want to be what they're teaching. So with that being said, sometimes it requires a little bit more of us, even though we don't want it to be. I've always said that, hey you, how are you? I've always said when you are in a position where people look up to you, or you're in any type of leadership position, you are going to be held to a higher standard. I'm sorry. I wish it wasn't like that, but people hold preachers to a higher standard. People hold people that are in leadership, whether you're a president, whether you are you're a CEO, whatever you are over, you're going to be left at a higher standard when somebody else may not be. And just some things that happen in a relationship, when it goes bad, it shouldn't hit YouTube. It just shouldn't. And I wish that there was another way this could have played out. Sometimes people read things the wrong way, and sometimes they really believe what they believe, and you can't help it if people believe what they want to believe about what you're doing, about who you are, what was your intention. You can't help that. The only thing you have to know is in your heart if you meant it or if you didn't mean it. You know what I'm saying? So that would take some self-evaluation on your motives, or what you did wrong or what you did right. So since we are not the final judge and there's only one, and then you have to look at yourself in the mirror too, because can you live with whatever was done? Did you create these actions, or this situation is what I'm saying? Did your actions line up to what you were saying or what you were about? And sometimes they are and sometimes they're not, but also it's open to interpretation with some people, because some people, especially if you meet people on the internet, especially with YouTube, anything can be open to interpretation. You could be saying right, and another person can say, no, you said left. You said, no, I said right. No, you said left. I heard you. And here you go, open to interpretation. These people on here, and like I I don't know. Can everybody hear me? Oh, okay. It's probably that air conditioning. Can y'all hear me now? It's probably that air conditioning, honey. It's still hot, even at this late. Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. Well, like I said, it's going to happen. You're going to have fallouts with people. Some people you'll never be cool with, and that's okay. That again is part of life. And okay, so I mean, you're near the. Can you hear me now? Yes, yes. If you can, put a 1 in the chat. So there's nothing wrong with having disagreements with people. Just don't let it get to the point where people can't tell you from the people in the world. And what I mean by that is, if we go on spiritually, it would be non-believers, right? We all have to learn to be a better example, whether it's to other people around us, to our children, if we have children, grandchildren, brother, sister, cousin, whomever it is. We all have to get there. And I'm not saying that I'm there. I'm saying I have sometimes where I forget all that reason. I really want to tell you off. I really wish I could come and find you, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, when we are holding ourselves to another standard, there's just certain things that should not transpire on YouTube. It just shouldn't. And I say this in love. I don't say this being critical of people, because one thing I'm not going to do is judge people for them falling out or anything like that, or saying who's right or who's wrong on that. Because that could be open up for interpretation, and to be honest with you, don't nobody know really what happened but the people that was involved in it. So I hate when people get on their soapbox telling who they think and who they think is wrong, who they think is right. I just say that whatever's going on, it shouldn't keep going on. Because it does not look good. It is something that happens to people. We all are good with some people, and we fall out with people for various reasons. But to prolong the situation, I really think that it's just too much, and it doesn't look good to a person if they are trying to search for, hey Miss V, if they're trying to search for some really good spiritual food, because both of these brothers have some valuable information that they give out. They really are very informative, and they're really they're really bold, and they have a lot of courage just to be out here in the YouTube streets and teaching and I would say preaching in so many words. But on the flip side of that, don't be so easily to judge people too, just because they are believers. Because at the end of the day, they're human just like me and you. And even though it put it in a higher standard, because we have to represent what we're saying we are representing, at the same time, we can't also forget that we are other human beings just as well. So we have to be mindful. Hey, get your mama, how are you? We have to be very mindful of how we are so easily give out information and give critiques on people and how they handle situations. I just pray that whatever they got going on, that either they will go their own way and move on and continue to keep being, doing their thing without, going back at each other. Because, hey, SBK, nobody profits from that but people that likes drama. And then you got people that like drama, doing commentary on that because they laughing at it. They think it's funny. And it's not funny. And it's actually It's actually sad. You know what I'm saying? So, hey Tamika. So I hope Brother New Breed, I hope Brother Ringo TV can come at least reason enough to eventually move on. And you know, we gotta, you know, I would say it's hard because I struggle. I struggle with forgiveness. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, it's nothing easy about forgiveness, and for those who if forgiveness is easy for, God bless you, because it's not easy. It's not easy. But I would say it's something that we have to do if we are a believer. You know what I'm saying? It's something we have to do if we say, you know, if we say we believe in God's word. You know what I'm saying? And that's hard. It's really difficult, and it takes time. But you have to me, want it. You know what I'm saying? And whether these two gentlemen can get along and move on and become friends again, you know, it will be, I'm gonna say it will be a miracle, but it could happen. All those people that have something to say and call and saying all these divisive things about each other, you know, they gonna be looking crazy because, like I said, it's people on here. They'll be enemies 1 month, and the next month they back cool, and you getting all mad at another person that you don't know because you listening to this person over here. So I say that with that kind of situation, uh, they definitely need to take a step back, and hopefully they can. Hey, the beef. Hopefully they can really move on from the situation, and eventually, hey, Miss Akimi, hopefully they can reason enough together. And the reason why I thought about that was when I said let's reason together. It was, I think, in Isaiah 1:18, when God was telling the Israelites, you know, to you know, let us reason together. Let, you know, I will forgive you. I will wash away your sins. You know, just come to me. And sometimes it's not always a literally, you know, like, hey, let's talk it through. Let's just reason together, just to be like, you know what, I might not agree with what that brother has did or done or said, but I'm going to, you know, let's reason enough to just go on our way and not speak ill about each other publicly. You know what I'm saying? And and sometimes, you know, that needs to happen sometimes. You know, you can't always rebuild your relationships once something has been severed. Hey Bama, some relationships will never be there. They'll never be restored, but some will. So that's why it's very careful. You have to be very careful about speaking on other people's feuds with each other. You know what I'm saying? Or situations with each other, their disagreements. And I think it could be very hurtful for the both of them. You know, I was listening at New Breed the other day, him and his lovely wife, and I could really see some sadness about him, you know, and I think that this situation, it really saddens him. And you know, and with Ringo, like I said, even though he feels a way about the situation, I can even see a little hurt there. You know what I'm saying? So I my heart goes out to the both of them. Like I said, but I do understand that it's just some relationships, it ain't gonna come back, and some people don't want it back. both parties don't want it back. So, and that's fine, but be reasonable enough to go on and not speak on each other negatively on an app, you know, especially where it's so many people that can see this ongoing feud when it don't need to be, you know. um and sometimes if we say we believe in the most high God, sometimes we just gotta let it be. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we gotta let people be, because whether we like them or agree with what they did or whatever, at the end of the day, um, God not gonna ask me about you. He's gonna ask me about me and what I did and what I said. So I gotta make sure that I'm living the least of, I would say, a decent way. I would be, making the right decisions and trying to walk in the narrow path. Like I said, it's not easy at all. I told y'all forgiveness is difficult for me. And it probably is difficult for a lot of people, not just me. But I know for me, I don't forgive easily, but I really do make an effort too, because I know you can't hold on to that. Because while you holding on to unforgiveness, them people going around doing what they do and being happy, while you sitting over there being mad, So we all have to be very cautious of holding unforgiveness or holding a grudge with people. And like I said, I have to be mindful of that as well. But with these two, like I said, people can say what they want to say, who's right and who's wrong. How about, who cares about that? What's the next? What's the end game? Are we gonna? That should be the thing. What is the end game? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. If we are really being honest with ourselves, how and especially if they are believers, which I believe that they are, how is God gonna get the glory from that? You know what I'm saying? Being on here, how? So we gotta ask that. If you are trying to live right and you're trying to walk in a narrow path, who is going to who's going to get the glory out of that? So that's the question that people need to ask. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm not going to hold you long on that. I just wanted, you said you gotta let it go for you. For you, yes, I believe, yes. You don't forgive people for them, you forgive people for you, because that's the only way it can be done for me. I can't think of, and that's what these people, New Breed and Ringo probably have to do. They can't really look at the person, because if they look at the person, they ain't gonna never forgive. And some they may have, I don't know. Maybe one has, I don't know. But regardless of their feelings, they can't look at each other. They gotta look at it that if they hold on to forgiveness, they the one gonna be bitter and mad. They the one that's going to keep with the nonsense. I'm leaving, Brian. So, and then that's not bringing any glory to the God that they serve. So I hope that both of them can either reason enough to just move on, because sometimes that's all it needs to be. Sometimes it just needs to be people just moving on their way, and then you can still move on your way, giving examples as you're talking, and people still think you're doing subliminal. So sometimes you're just damned if you do and damned if you don't. But for the most part, um both of them just need to kind of just move on, and hopefully that they can come, hey Sirius, and hopefully they can find a solution that will would bring glory to the God they serve, as well as be a testimony to other people. Because unfortunately, and I shouldn't maybe should say unfortunately, but when you are the light, you know, people look for you to be the light. They look for you to be something different than what they're used to seeing, than the darkness. You know what I'm saying? We are, you know, they used, you know, in Matthew it says, you know, we are the salt of the earth. So salt has flavor. And when it loses flavor, you know, it just needs to be thrown out. The same thing with people having a light and they hide it up under a bushel. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, sometimes our light is dimmed a little bit because of the stuff that we get into. You know what I'm saying? Or we allow, or what we allow get into us, rather. I had a young lady under my comments. I think her name is Kiki. I'm not, you know, some of those usernames you can't really tell. But she's got under my comments a couple of times, and even though I don't agree with everything she says, I do respect the fact that I really feel like in her heart to heart she means well, and she does have a lot of quality things that she kind of gives me constructive criticism on, and I appreciate that, you know, because you don't have to agree with everything to appreciate someone that maybe want to, you know, give you some constructive criticism on a situation that I was talking about the other day. And so we have people that we don't even know that's watching us, people that we have no idea that is in the bushes watching us. And when we are acting a fool, or we're acting like the people that don't really care or don't have a relationship with God, then we don't look any better than them. You know what I'm saying? And even if one person decides, you know what, I'm not going to keep going along with this, it only takes one person, you know, to just be like, you know what, you can do and say what you want to say. I'm done with the situation. I'm finna move on and keep focused on my goal. That's all it takes. If you can't reason with a person, that's all it. So sorry about that. What's up, Big Nance? How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, that's all it takes. It just takes. I hope you guys can hear me. Yeah, Selena move in silence. Yeah, you gotta move in silence. Can y'all guys hear me? Let me know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I need to get up out of this gym, gym parking lot. But yeah, that's all it takes. It just takes one. You can hear me now? Sometimes with this YouTube live, it is really wacky at times. But you know, some people want to judge people for using vertical lives, but I think it reaches more people when they hear, you know, what you have to say. Big Nance in the house. Okay, brother, can you get your lights off of me? Or maybe I need to move. Hey, Justine, how are you? So yeah, that's what I hope that these brothers will have come to that type of understanding. Like I said, it's really bad when people just sit up there and do a lot of talking about situations when they don't know jack what they're talking about. And that's why I said with this situation, I hope that these brothers can either come together or move on, because both of them have a valuable message. Both of them are very talented, and both of them have a lot to offer. YouTube and just the world in general. And it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate that this situation has happened. You know, it's just unfortunate. And I hope that they can have as they would say back, you know, they would always say back in the day, come to Jesus meeting. A come to Jesus meeting, for real. What the? Yeah, so I hope you guys understood what I was saying. Like I say, you know, we don't know who's watching us. We don't know who's paying attention to us. We just don't know. And we got to make sure that for the most part that we at least try to live a way where people will see something different in us, how we handle situations and things like that. Like I say, we all have our days, but I really, like I said, my heart goes out to both of these people, and I hope you guys understand. Yeah, about time you moved, punk. I guess I could have moved. He got this big old monster truck. Get your butt out the way. Big old monster truck. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good understanding of what I'm saying, and you know, and maybe if you guys have been through situations where you have had disagreements with people, how did you guys handle it? Did you, and it's even worse when it's public. When it's public, it's just like one of the worst things, you know what I'm saying, to happen when it's public. And so, and see, people are really judging it because, like I said, can y'all guys see me or hear me? Because this is weird. I don't know why this screen is like this. Can you guys see it? Just put 1 in the chat if you can. I don't know if you guys can see, hear, or what's going on. Can you put a 1 in the chat? So if you can't put a 1 in the chat, that means you guys can't hear me. Let's see, there's something wrong with this thing. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know what's going on. It is so weird out. This thing is not working. So I don't know what's the last thing you guys heard me say, because this thing was going in and out and in and out. It was so weird. But I guess I'm blaming on the devil. I guess the devil don't want this message to be out. But yeah, like I said, I hope that you guys can come to a resolution, you know, and if not, sometimes it just takes people just to be quiet, you know what I'm saying? I'm learning to do a lot of being quiet, you know, because like I said, some things you have to count the cost of it. You also have to choose your battles. And my God, some battles, it's just not worth it, you know. And at the end of the day, God is going to hold us accountable for how we handle situations. I got a lot of forgiveness because I know some things I did not handle like I should have, and some things I did the best that I could with what I knew at the time, you know. But that still don't mean he ain't gonna hold you accountable for it either. That still don't mean he not gonna hold you accountable. So these brothers, they know the word, they study the word. So with them knowing the word and studying the word, we gotta put the word into play. We gotta not just say it, but we actually have to try to live it, and that's the hard part. And nobody said it was easy, because it's definitely not. But like I said, having big disagreements and putting it on YouTube is not the best way. There's other ways to do it, and if you guys, like I said, y'all have a relationship, the Most High, is just some things you don't want it to take away from your message, because people take what you're going through and use it for a show. They use it for content instead of it being the other way around, where you guys are looking at how what the world does, what they're doing, and how to change from not being like the world. You know what I'm saying? He said, we have to ignore the naysayers. Sometimes it's hard to do it. With the strength of the Lord, he will see you through. Yeah, hey, Commander, he definitely will. Like I said, it's been some naysayers that I had to deal with as well, but I also realized too that I can't worry about naysayers. I can't worry about people that fall out with me or whatever. That's just, first of all, I have to do some self aware. I have to have some type of self-awareness to know myself, okay? And with me knowing myself, I know certain things I might do, certain things I might not do. And sometimes we're not always aware too. And it takes like my friends or somebody that I trust to kind of let me know, hey, well, Selena, you do this. Oh, you do that, or no, you don't do this. And I was telling you guys about my friend Denise and how we have had disagreements, but we have never fell out. I have another friend, Deidre. We don't talk all the time, but when we do, it's good. But we have had some disagreements, but we never fell out. As far and like, I'm not your friend anymore or nothing like that. And I have a couple of more people in my life that we've had disagreements. We don't agree with everything, but we've never fall out from each other. We've never been like, I don't ever want to talk to this person anymore. You know what I'm saying? Or like, I ain't gonna say, because I'm trying to step away from the word, the bad words. So, but you have those people where you're gonna have disagreements, but you are always good with them. They're always good with you. And I thank God for those people that I can have disagreements with and we still cool. But you're not gonna have that with everybody. And like I said, YouTube, especially when you meet people on YouTube, you really don't know people. And like I said, even when you get to know people, you still really don't know people. I mean, it's hard to know people, the people that you're around, let alone people that you're on YouTube with and you build some type of camaraderie with them on YouTube. And it just does not happen the way we plan. We may even regret some things that have happened, whether they've done it or we've done it. And I really think with these two people, that I really feel like both of them really probably would probably wish that this, or rather wish that this didn't happen at all, because to me they're more powerful together than apart. And we just got to be careful that we don't allow these little the enemy or these little imps to cause separation with the brethren. But like I said, just because you guys don't fool, if you don't fool with each other, that's fine. Cause what y'all think? It's people in the Bible that have had fallen out with each other. You know, Peter, Peter, you know, who did he fall out? Well, he just didn't trust Paul, Saul of Tarsus. He didn't trust him at first. A lot of the earlier believers, they didn't trust Paul, but you know, because of what he did to the believers in the early age. And then, you know, was it Saul and John Mark fell out, and Saul and Barnabas, you know, fell out. It's a lot of people in the Bible that have had disagreements, and they ended, you know, their relationship at the time and moved on. So sometimes people, like I said, sometimes some people, they have went as far as they gonna go with you, and you have went as far as they gonna go, you know, you gonna go with them, and there's nothing wrong with that. You said, as content creators on this red app, you are under a microscope. They are watching you when you're doing good, and they wait for you to do something hellacious to make content. Right. People just making content. It's some people that ain't thought about Ringo or New Breed. Ain't never talked about them before, but all of a sudden, because this situation is spreading like wildfire, everybody and their mama want to talk about it and make it content, when this really is a sad situation. This is really nothing to make no content. Really, to me, it would, and I know I'm making content, but I'm talking about how it could, I feel like it could have been done a better way with them, you know, having some type of spiritual background that they have. That's why I said everything is not meant. Thank you, Miss V. Everything is not meant for YouTube. Some things need to be behind the scenes and kept behind the scenes. Period. You don't need to know who a person fell out with. Now, if that person puts it out there, that's a different story. But really, why would that need to be publicized? What happened behind the scenes? If I feel a way about somebody behind the scenes, very few people are gonna know about it, but then they definitely not gonna know on YouTube. And that's why I felt like, yeah, Randy, that's why I felt like, you know, this could have been handled behind the scenes, you know, to the point to where they both decided to go their separate ways because they did not agree with how a certain thing was handled. And again, I'm not saying who's right or who's wrong. I'm not getting that in depth in that. That's, you know, because like I said, I wasn't there. You wasn't there. So to give your, I would say, to analyze everything, we can't say that because we weren't there. And everybody, to me, sometimes people have a different story. They have a different perception of how they see a thing. Just like I said before, I said I'm going right, but then you telling me no, you went left. And I know I don't went. I'm seeing where I'm going. I'm turning right, but you still, in your mind, you seeing that I don't went left. And that's just how people, and misunderstandings, and how people take certain things. You said, man, so far I only have to say something once, and that was because the other person made a video. I personally feel like we go our own right. He said people went after New Breed for having a non-black wife and made my stomach sick. And see, that's another thing too. I don't know too much about that, Commander, but let that man, love who he want to love. Who cares? I ain't trying to be funny. What they got to do with you and who you sleeping with or who you will sleep with? It don't. Who this man marries is nobody's business but him. He the one got to deal with it. People on this app are very weird in some ways. Some people think they have a right to tell people what they need to do or who they need to pick or how they should do this with their lives when they can't even figure out what to do with their own life. I notice there's a lot of critical control freaks on this app. They got a lot of things to say about how people handle their business or how a person live their life when they need to worry about their own. Who cares? I mean, to be honest with you, I'm glad that the brother is married and both of them are married. Seem like the nice ladies, you know what I'm saying? And they try to be faithful to their wives, and that's from what I know of, just from outside looking in. But they seem like they are family men, and that's a great thing. Right. People do expect too much of other people. And that's why I said with them being under a microscope and then with them saying their belief system, people, regardless, even if it's wrong to put people on a pedestal or expect too much of people, people are going to do that because people are people. And they feel like you should live up to a higher standard. To an extent, I can understand, and to an extent, I can't. Because at the end of the day, we all are flawed, and we all miss the mark. And they do expect too much of people. I will have people to expect a lot of me, and they say, well, Selena, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't say that word. Especially if, say for instance, if I get upset about something and it's something that I'm trying to express and a word comes out that is not very holy, right? You'll have some people critiquing me for that. Or if I wear a low cut shirt or something, that you say PB's like she's a Jezebel now, she's Delilah. I mean, it's like, goodness gracious. Maybe it's because let me pull it up just a little bit. Maybe it kind of went down when I was sitting down in the chair. But people will judge you. You're under a microscope when you're on this app. And unfortunately, other people won't allow you to be a human when they can be human and be flawed. People will try to tell you how you should handle or how you should feel about a situation when they've never encountered what you've done, what you've been through. That's why I won't say nothing about who's right or who's wrong and what, the only thing I will say is I wish you could have been differently, that they could have handled this behind the scenes, because this type of stuff is not meant to be on YouTube. People see a lot of this is just, let me just use this for content and talk about who's right and who's wrong, rather than seeing that these are two brothers that fell out with each other. But it's really a sad story, to be honest with you. Because it's good when believers can come together. It's good when two black brothers can come together and help their community. Because New Breed, from my understanding, both of them, I think they help their community in their own way. I think New Breed just went on a, they had something, was it a month ago or something? They had like a farm or something. They went to like the country part, and he met a lot of, the people that, follow him on, different platforms. And, you know, they were doing some type of work down there wherever I think it's a farm down there. So they have resources that they are, you know, helping their community and helping their people where they live. So um, it's a great thing when you can get out of being on YouTube and help other people. You said, I try to keep myself in check. I try to as well, like I said, because some days, like I say, I get to the point where it's just some days I have to constantly keep myself in check. And thank God for the people that I have a relationship with, a real relationship with, and that always let me know the truth in love and not, you know, not trying to tear me down. And that's what with these two brothers, I hope that they can get to the point that they can at least have if they can't have a decent, like I said, if they can't have a decent conversation, at least they can, you know, move on for the betterment of what they're trying to do and the lifestyle that they're trying to live before people and them, and for themselves as well. So people will definitely have you under a microscope, watching you, gawking at you, critiquing you, dissecting you, and they have no business doing that, but that's what people do. We all have done it to somebody. They do it to celebrities really bad. We've all done it to a celebrity, critique to their hair, to their weave, to their bald head, all the way down if they got a fake breast, fake butt, big toes, big feet, whatever. That's how we do celebrities. And so even though I'm not a celebrity, these people are not a celebrity. When you have a public platform, people are going to dissect you and criticize you to your little chin. Like, my goodness. And it's something that you can never be prepared for. So I hate when people try to tell me I should have been, aware of it. No, you'll never be ready on here. You'll never, because there's always going to be something, and you always have to prepare yourself mentally and spiritually and emotionally to deal with whatever. I think sometimes while people are living, they forget that other people are human beings just like them. And even though I might, or another person might be mature in an area that I'm not, that doesn't make that person more mature or better than me. It just means you mastered something that I haven't. Just like with these two gentlemen. We don't know who's right or who's wrong. But the fact of the matter is, they are human beings. And they're not going to get it right just like we not going to get it right. So who are we to sit back and say, this person is a foul person, this person is this person? We going by what we hear. And everybody has a different story. You know what I'm saying? Only God knows the truth. You said it all boils down to jealousy. I don't know. And that's why sometimes on certain things I'm not going to speak on it, because I really don't know what the problem is. I just feel like it was a misunderstanding that went left real quick and deep. And now I think it's gone a little too far long. Because, like I said, it becomes a circus after a while. And that's the last thing that I think that that I think that God would want. I'll just say that. I'm not God. I don't know his mind, but I believe from what I've read and what I have discovered in, just having relationships, that, it's not good to always, to keep going, especially when you two have had some type of relationship. But unfortunately, we live in a life where people don't care about none of that. They don't care about reasoning. They don't care about getting understanding. Um, so, who knows what will happen with the situation. But hopefully, something good can come out of this. You said, when you get on the free app and hit the live button, get ready for a roller. Right. These people are relentless, committed to tearing you down if you allow them. You have to be strong. Yes, and you are going to be on a roller coaster, but at the same time, people have the audacity to tell you how you should feel and how you should handle it. And that's just not the right thing to do. A part of having emotional intelligence, you have to be empathetic. And basically, being empathetic is trying to walk in another person's shoes. You have to be sympathetic, you know, to someone's plight on what they are dealing with, and not be so quick to say what you should do, what another person should do. Because another person could come around and tell you what you should do with your life. See, it goes both ways. I'm not telling nobody what to do. I just hope that they realize that this type of situation, if it keeps going, is sending a bad message to the people that may be weak in their faith. That's all I'm saying. And sometimes with that, we are sometimes responsible in some ways. Not all, because some people have to stop living for other people. You shouldn't make anybody your God. Even the preacher makes mistakes. But at the same time, some of our actions can make people not want to know anything about God because of our actions. That's all I'm saying. Have you ever, like, said something and you maybe turned a person off from you and you wasn't actually trying to, but because where you was mentally at the time or emotionally, you maybe have said or did something, and when you did it, it turned the person off from even wanting to get to know you? Well, that's just kind of how, if you say you're a representative for God, that's kind of how people, even though they need to be looking up to God, they looking at you. So I'm not saying you have to all the time be perfect, because that's not going to be possible. But what I am saying, you better believe that people are watching you. And it's like, with that fine tooth comb, they trying to find something. So they watching you, and you are doing something, but you saying you're this person that you believe in, you have these beliefs, but you acting this way, you can turn people off from God because of how you act about a certain thing or how you speak about a certain thing. So that's another thing I have to be mindful of as well. And I think anybody that is wanting to be a believer, you're going to run into that. You're going to have people that are going to be looking at you, and they're going to think, they're going to believe that you should be different, right? So you have to be careful, because I would say the first impression There's always sometimes the last impression. You'll never get it back. You'll never get it back. So, unfortunately, we can't help everybody. Unfortunately, we're not gonna get it right all the time. But we have to remember that people be watching, even when we don't want them to watch. That's why I said, don't put me on the pedestal. Please don't. Because tomorrow I might disappoint you. And lately, I probably have disappointed a lot of people, but I'm like, the only, you've disappointed some people too. So, while you got that finger pointing at me, that other finger pointing at you. So, we all have disappointed. We all have been disappointed. So don't put people on don't put people on a pedestal. He said people should not let mad actions turn them away from. They shouldn't, but when people are weak in faith or they're looking for a reason not to believe, they will. If you're not God-fearing, don't get on here with this false prophecy trying to get people to believe that's who you are. Be real to yourself. You ain't gonna get me. I'm telling you, you're not gonna get me on here saying nothing about I prophesied nothing. But some of the things that I did say, they did come to pass. So, but I'm definitely not no prophet. So please don't put. I don't want nobody putting that on me. Having me with them head coverings and acting like I'm prophesying. I don't play. I don't play with God like that. No, I don't play with God. There's two things I don't mess with: God, and the second thing is the IRS. Those two things, you leave that alone. I ain't gonna say, well, God told me nothing. No, ma'am. No, sir. Not I. Hey, Amber, how are you? People should not judge unless they are willing to be judged back and saying, all right. But people do. People do. I was, I was so glad that, like I was telling you, it's some people that, like I was telling you about few of my friends. I said, I'm so thankful that I have real friends that will tell me the truth. But at the same time, have you ever had people in your life, regardless, they'll tell you the truth about yourself, but they see the best in you as well. It's some people, will never see the best in you. Serious. Amber. It's some people that will never see the best in you. You could try to do, the best, you could try to do the right thing. You could try to work on yourself. They will never see the best in you. They will always see what you're flawed in. So, and with these brothers, that's what, when people are making content about these men and saying things on these people's characters, we really, at the end of the day, we don't know these people. But what I will say is, even with them going through something, I can't take away their calling on their life, the powerful influence that they have on their life, how they have maybe reached people. I have listened to New Breed, and he has encouraged me so much when I've listened to him. Because he let me know that it's okay to be different. It's okay to be different. It's okay to not always have people to like you. It's okay to be yourself. And even though I already knew those things, sometimes you need people, sometimes you need that affirmation, that confirmation. He has been one of the encouraging content creators. Even Brother Ringo, you know, like I said, he has some good commentary. You know, he looks beyond all the stuff that's going on the surface. But I just hope that they can look beyond what their feelings or their ego and see the bigger picture. Sometimes we all have to get over our ego and see the bigger picture. And like I said, those brothers are powerful too. They're powerful apart, but they're also powerful. They're even more powerful together. So hopefully, whoever sees, you know, if New Breed sees this, that they will take this in love, that they have a lot to offer other people. They have a lot to offer God's kingdom, and they are needed. And the drama is just taken away from their purpose to me. Well, guys, I am going to exit stage left. I've been on here a little longer than I planned on being. Like I said, I was leaving the gym. I need to go home and eat a little light meal so that I can get ready to go into bed. But I will say, I hope the best for these gentlemen. I hope the best for anybody in the chat. Thank you, Big Nance. Anybody in the chat that has had situations where you've had disagreements with people, you know, just remember, you know, some things is just not worth bringing to YouTube, and some things to me it's not even worth pondering on. I talked a lot about the other day. We have to understand people have a season in our life, and once our season or their season is up, that's all she wrote. So maybe their season is up, you know, Ringo and New Breed, maybe. But regardless, thank you, Amber. Regardless, I wish these gentlemen the best. But I hope they do not prolong this situation, because, like I said, you know, sometimes the enemy, which would be a negative entity, tries to make things in a manner where it is a bad testimony to other people on the outside. If, you know, to a person that just makes fun of, you know, people that believe in Christ anyway. They just make fun of it, you know. And we should want to bring glory to God rather than shame, you know. And you know, so I would just say I hope these brothers the best. Like I said, y'all know that I was so thankful, you know, when I saw New Breed Friday. I was really appreciative of him, and I hope that he will be blessed, and both of them, to be honest with you. And I hope that they can come to some type of resolution soon, because don't let people, like I said, keep taking this and making it a circus, because people will definitely do it, especially those that want to laugh at you know, want to laugh at believers anyway. You said there needs to be a resolution between the two. I pray that they can get it together before it's too late. Right. Like I said, they don't have to be friends no more, because some people you'll never be cool with. You know, I understand. But it's some things, you know, it's like, do we have to go this far? Really? Do we really have to go this far? No? So that's the question. Do we really have to go this far? And I would say, outside looking in, absolutely not. Just count it as an experience that, you know, you've learned from, and dust your feet and walk away. So hopefully they can. And yeah, guys, I love you to Reese's Pieces. I am done. I've had a long day. Staff development was a bit much, and like I said, it's time to go home. So guys, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for being patient with me. Sorry about all of the dropping and everything. I'm like, wow, this thing, my little stand just didn't want to work today. So I'm gonna have to figure out what the heck is going on with that. But yeah, shout out to Ringo. Shout out to my boy New Breed. You know, y'all got it. Y'all got so many. Y'all have so many talents and gifts and influence. Use it for God's glory, and not with the foolishness. Because like I said, that's what the world wants. All right, talk to y'all later. Love you to Reese's Pieces. Bye.